Okay, so now we're dealing with this other notebook. Sorry there's so many notebooks, but it's the way it made sense for me. So we're still talking about simple interest. We're going to approach it from a different direction so that if you had challenges with the other way, maybe this way will help you. So we're in this booklet here, and we talked about banking. We're going to come back to this second topic, personal budgets. We're going to come back to that later. So we're going to skip that for now, and we're going to go all the way to page 13, simple interest. Now, when you deposit your money into a savings account, you can earn interest. And we've talked about this from your financial institution, from your bank. And this is why you put your money in the bank. Besides keeping it safe, you might want to put it in the bank so that you can have, so that you can make it work for you, right? Now, when you borrow money, you sometimes also have to pay interest to the financial institution. If they give you a loan, you might have to pay interest. And the amount of interest you pay is compensation for the lender letting you use their money. Okay, so they say that in the world there's no such thing as a free lunch. Simple interest is based on the original amount or the principal. These should sound familiar. Invested or borrowed. Interest is usually stated as a certain percentage per annum per year. The time in years for the investment or loan is called the term of the investment. Okay? And we've seen this formula earlier today. Formula for simple interest. Interest is the interest earned, the I. P is the principal, the original amount invested or borrowed. R is the rate in decimal form, and T is the term in years for the investment or loan. So that should look very familiar to us all. Note, the rate and the term must be in the same time units. So generally speaking, we're doing the rate per annum, so per year, and the time is the number of years. Okay? Now, earlier today we talked about finding a missing value. If that was challenging for you, rearranging, you can also use these formulas, which is basically the rearrangements of those formulas, so that if you're looking for principal instead of interest, you can use this form of the equation. If you're looking for the rate instead of interest, you can use this form of the equation. And if you are looking for time instead of interest, you can use this form. Now, there is a triangle on your formula sheet that you can use to determine the correct formula. So I believe it would look like this. IPRT. And you cover up the one you're looking for, and it will leave you with the formula that you can use. Okay? I can walk you through that if you want me to. Okay. So let's look at a few examples. Now, we should be somewhat familiar with this because of this morning. So hopefully this feels like a little more of a review. Gordon wants to invest $2,000. His bank offers an investment option that earns simple interest at a rate of 1.75 per year. If he invests the money for 1 year, how much interest will he earn? So, as I said earlier, what we want to do is we want to make a list of what we know. We're looking for the interest. The principal is $2,000. The rate is 1.75%. So if we write that in decimal, it's 0.0175. And the time is 1 year. Okay, so we don't have to convert the time. So interest will equal PRT. So 2,000 times 0.0175 times 1. So we do that. 2,000 times 0.0175 times 1 equals $35. If he invests the money for 2 years, how much interest will he earn? Well, everything is the same as these except the time. The time is now 2 years. So interest is equal to PRT. Principal is $2,000. Interest rate is 0.0175 times 2. So we multiply those and we get $70. Okay. So obviously, the longer he keeps it in, the more interest he earns. Example 2. Calculate the final total of an initial investment of $6,000. Interest is paid at 4% per annum for 3 years. So make a list of what we know. We want the total value though, not just the interest, but we're going to find the interest first. Interest we're looking for, our principal is $6,000. The rate is 4%, which we divide by 100.04 as a decimal, and the time is 3 years. Okay, so from that, interest is equal to PRT. So our interest is 6,000 times 0.04 times 3. So let's figure that out. 6,000 times 0.04 times 3. So he would earn, or whoever would earn 720. However, we want the total. So the total would be equal to principal plus interest. So it would be 6,000 plus 720. So it would be 6,720. Would be our total amount, final total value of the initial investment of 6,000. Okay. Hopefully this is all looking very familiar. Please make sure, if you're not sure, to ask me questions in class. Example number 3. Eugene received 151.56 on his investment from the bank. If he invested $421 at an interest rate of 4%, how long did he leave his investment in the bank? So his interest was 151.56. His principal was $421, and his rate was 4%. Now we write that as a decimal. We divide by 100, so it's 0.04. And we want to know the time. Now, remember those equations. We're looking for the time. So if we scroll back, time is equal to interest divided by principal times the rate. So time is equal to interest divided by principal times the rate. So we're going to use that pre-rearranged formula, so we don't have to do the rearranging. Yay. So let's put it in. We have 151.56 all over 421 times 0.04. Now, make sure you do the division on the bottom first. So 421 times 0.04 equals 16.84. So now we can do 151.56 divided by 16.84, which is equal to 9 years. Okay, it's nice to use one of these formulas that's already rearranged for us. And like I said, if you need help learning how to use the triangles that are on your formula sheet, just let me know. Or you can sketch those, you can draw those or write out those 4 equations on your formula sheet so you have them handy. Okay, so hopefully after this morning and this lesson, makes a little more sense to you, or you're doing good on it. Maybe you're like one of those money people, then anything to do with money you just get because you think about the money. Now you have some more practice to do.